I thought that a video theorizing which Hazbin Hotel character goes into which Hogwarts house was a pretty dumb idea. But you're the one who clicked on it, so what does it say about you? Anyways, for this video, we're going to be aiming more for general personality traits as opposed to taking the easy way out by simply listing anyone who is particularly evil as Slytherin and anyone good as Gryffindor, so get those ideas out of your head right now. First and foremost, there is of course Charlie, who would be easy to throw into Gryffindor because she is essentially the most good character in the show, but she strikes me as a bit of a Hufflepuff. While a lot of people think of Hufflepuff as the other house filled with not so particularly interesting people without any special traits, there are a few things that ring true about Hufflepuffs that is also true about Charlie. Patience, something she absolutely has to have not just for her plan, but for putting up with Angel in particular when he has already screwed her over a few times and will seemingly continue to do so as the show continues. Then, of course, there is hard work for those same reasons, and fair play, as she believes that everyone should be given a second chance, even if she isn't sure that those second chances will help demons like Angel make it into heaven. She is also far too trusting, which is considered one of the negative traits of Hufflepuff House. What's up guys, live action Deepcut here. Before we jump into the other characters, I just want to take a moment to talk about the sponsor of today's video, Raid Shadow Legends. I started playing this game back in April, and it seriously only gets better as you go along. For me, my favorite part is just collecting the champions. My current favorite is this little demon dog. He's a good boy. Plus, testing out their special skills in battle is always fun. They're also constantly updating the game so that it feels fresh. They got the Artifact Forge for making your own artifacts, they've got a new quest system, they're bringing in new champions, and they're developing this awesome looking Doom Tower. I've created a new account this week so that if you sign up and act fast enough, you guys can come be a part of my clan. Just look me up with my username Deepcut7. If you haven't already signed up, just go to the description and use the special link to get started, and you'll receive 100,000 free silver plus this awesome champion, Slasher. All of these sign up bonuses will be available right here in your items box as soon as you're all set up. I'll put a link in the description down below, go check it out, and I'll see you on the battlefield. Charlie is of course dating Vaggie, who strikes me as a Gryffindor. On the positive side, she is brave, so much so that she is willing to jump in front of one of the most powerful demons in all of the underworld, Alastor, to try and defend Charlie and the hotel. She is loyal in the way that she refuses to give up on Charlie's dreams of the Happy Hotel, even though she clearly doesn't believe in it. She also meets the negative traits of Gryffindor, being very quick to anger and rather stubborn. There is very little that doesn't make her angry, with Charlie being the one who is immune to this for some reason, though she still brings her a lot of frustration. In the comics, we see her stubbornly not even wanting to let Angel into their little hotel scheme to begin with. Angel would be very easy to call Slytherin because he comes from a big crime family where their heritage seems very important. And although he did leave the crime family, his sense of pride still stays with him. The only reason he ends up agreeing to go to the Happy Hotel is because he doesn't like people believing that he couldn't turn good if he didn't want to, as we saw in the prequel comic. Alastor would be easy to call Slytherin as well, especially when it comes to manipulation, which is pretty much the basis of his character. He's also got pride in his Creole heritage, however, he ends up overthrowing the other great long-standing demonic families in the underworld, and butting heads with the few that remain. Additionally, despite being so powerful, we don't see him going to the great lengths that Slytherins are known for to achieve even more power. Instead, he seems comfortable with where he has landed in the underworld and simply looks to find more ways to entertain himself. With that in mind, I think he may be more of a Ravenclaw. He is intelligent enough to use his manipulation, but dismissive enough to not care about Charlie's actual goals or to even bother with any of the complaints or offers that people bring up to him. When attacked by Serpentius, he simply snaps his fingers and turns away dismissively, as if he wasn't even there, and while he doesn't believe in the Happy Hotel's mission, he is open-minded enough to help her anyways. Angel's best friend is Cherry, who I believe would make it into Slytherin House. Despite not having any known heritage from both the human world or the demon world that seems important to her, she captures one particular Slytherin quality perfectly: ambitiousness. Slytherins have a reputation for creating more evil wizards than other Hogwarts houses, but it's only because they are generally so ambitious that any wizards with evil thoughts quickly rise to infamy because of it. Cherry captures this trait perfectly in the Turf War, where she's able to use her bombs to take down Serpentius, who has an entire army and some crazy machinery on his side, but still ends up getting his butt handed to him by Cherry. Husk was a bit of a hard character to place, but after diving into some more detailed descriptions of various Hogwarts houses, I think Ravenclaw was probably his best fit. When he's first brought in, despite knowing how powerful Alastor is, he has no problem talking down to him, which highlights the arrogance that Ravenclaws can have. He's rude to almost everyone, something Ravenclaws can be when they deem someone else ignorant, and seemingly bad at small talk, and while he doesn't strike me as a daydreamer like Ravenclaws can be, his constant drunkenness probably keeps him more in his own head than involved in conversations with others. Nifty also strikes me as a Ravenclaw for similar reasons, though this stems from her being hyperactive and self-absorbed, as opposed to simply depressed like Husk is. Nifty is described as a hopeless romantic, but hopeless with romance, lending to the Ravenclaw trait of being a daydreamer. While she is able to pay attention to small details like what is messy, she is unable to even notice that Angel is a man and not a woman, which can be looked at as the Ravenclaw trait of not paying attention. Moving over to the Helluva Boss cast, we have Blitz, who I think is an easy Slytherin. While he doesn't have any pride in his heritage, as imps are the lowest order of natural-born citizens in the underworld, yes, I read your comments on the last video, I get it now, his willingness to manipulate Stolas and his sheer determination to achieve his goals makes it hard for me to imagine him being in any other house, though if he was, I think he might just be a Hufflepuff. Moxie strikes me as a Ravenclaw, mostly because of just how much he is willing to butt heads with Blitz and Luna, talking down to them despite Blitz even being his boss, something Ravenclaws are willing to do if they deem someone else ignorant, which Moxie seems to think of Blitz for sure. He is also shown to be very open-minded. Instead of just simply indulging in carnage like the others do, he is open to the idea that there are some limits to what they should do for their clients. Moxie's wife, Millie, is a bit of a Hufflepuff. She has very little conflict with anyone, and while we don't see her being walked all over, the fact that she lets everyone do pretty much whatever they want, and even embraces it, is certainly a Hufflepuff quality. One thing she definitely doesn't have with Hufflepuff, though, is she is much more of a risk-taker, whereas Hufflepuff seem to play it safe. Though this shines through in her interpersonal relationships, where she is unwilling to get aggressive with Luna when she so clearly needs to be put in her place. On that note, Luna I think of as a Ravenclaw, but other than her intense and angry outbursts, we don't have much to judge her on. Gryffindors can be quick to anger too, and while Luna shows no indication of having a moral compass, she does show some loyalty to Blitz. Despite how much she seems to annoy her, she did allow him to adopt her, something you wouldn't even really need in the underworld, and she does always come to work, even if absolutely wasted, despite knowing that she can get away with pretty much anything. Finally, we got Stolas, who I think is exactly what you'd expect from Slytherin. Big spooky evil plans that he uses his magic book for, well-to-do in a fancy mansion with a family just rolling in money and luxury, and that aristocratic energy that just makes you think Malfoy's but gayer.